Most people don't realize they are stuck. They wake up every day, go through the same routine, and wonder why they feel uninspired, exhausted, and unfulfilled. But if every day feels like a repeat of the last, you are caught in a cycle you can't even see. And here's the worst part: most people never escape it. Life has a way of pulling people into patterns. The habits that were once temporary become permanent. The things that were once unacceptable become tolerable. The dreams that once felt possible slowly fade into the background. You start settling for things you once swore you'd change. You accept exhaustion as normal. You convince yourself that the best days are behind you and this is just how life is. Nothing changes until a decision is made. Change does not take years. It happens in a single moment. The moment you decide that enough is enough. You weren't born to stay in the same place, doing the same thing, feeling the same way every single day, but somehow life has convinced you that this is it, that you should just be grateful and stop wanting more. But when you stop growing, you don't just stay the same, you decline. A dream that is ignored turns into regret. A potential left untapped becomes frustration. And before you know it, years have passed and nothing has changed. You wake up, you check your phone, you go to work, you come home, you scroll through social media, you go to bed, and you do it all over again. You feel exhausted because your mind is cluttered with things that don't matter. You feel unmotivated because you aren't challenging yourself to grow. You feel lost because you've been reacting to life instead of creating it. The cycle will continue until you decide to break it. People don't change because they wait for the right time. They wait for motivation. They wait for things to fall into place. But the truth is, the right time never comes. The biggest lie people believe is that they need to feel ready. The reality is readiness comes after action, not before it. Those who wait stay stuck. Those who act transform. Settling is not harmless, it is dangerous. When you stop growing, you start falling behind. The job tolerated today might be a prison in 5 years. The bad habits allowed today might destroy your potential tomorrow. The excuses made today might steal your future before you even realize it. Settling isn't staying the same, it's a slow decline. But the good news is that change is possible and it starts now. Change doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require years of planning. It requires a decision, one moment of absolute commitment. A decision to stop waiting, stop overthinking, stop doubting, and start moving. A decision to stop letting distractions steal focus. A decision to stop being passive and start taking action. That decision is available in this moment right now. You don't need to change everything overnight. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need one thing, the willingness to start. Success is not built in one day, but it is built one day at a time. The habits formed today will shape the future. The focus placed on growth today will determine the opportunities of tomorrow. The actions taken today will separate the successful from the ones who stay stuck. Time is the most valuable resource, but most people waste it. The most dangerous time wasters aren't obvious. They sneak into life disguised as relaxation. Social media, entertainment, and distractions that seem harmless end up consuming hours, stealing potential. Every hour lost is a step backward. The most successful people guard their time like it's gold. If you don't control your time, something else will. Most people know what they need to do, but never do it. They wait for the perfect plan, the perfect conditions, the perfect mindset. But waiting is the greatest trap of all. Overthinking kills more dreams than failure ever could. Ultra-successful people act first and adjust later. They don't wait for clarity, they create clarity through action. Success isn't about having a perfect plan, it's about having the courage to start. Most people fail because they expect motivation to carry them. But motivation is fleeting. It fades, it disappears when things get hard. That is why discipline matters more than motivation. The ones who win are the ones who show up even when they don't feel like it. The ones who keep going even when there's no immediate reward. The ones who take action even when self-doubt creeps in. Discipline is the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck. Every action is building momentum. Every small step forward is progress. Every time resistance is overcome, strength is built. The more momentum is built, the easier it gets. Success is not about giant leaps. It's about showing up consistently. It's about creating habits that become second nature. It's about doing the work even when no one is watching, even when the results aren't immediate, even when it's uncomfortable. 7 days ago, you started a reset, you took control, but now comes the hardest part, staying committed. Most people get excited about change, but only a few commit to it long term. The decision must be made every day to keep going, to not fall back into old patterns, to not let distractions steal focus, to not let comfort win over growth. Success is not about what happens once. It's about what happens every day. It's about the habits that are formed, the routines that are built, the mindset that is strengthened. Everything that has been learned in this reset means nothing if it isn't maintained. The ones who succeed are the ones who refuse to quit. No more waiting, no more second guessing. The decision has already been made. This is the moment where the shift becomes permanent. This is the moment where discipline takes over. This is the moment where momentum carries forward. The life that is deserved is waiting. The future that is possible is within reach. The only question left is, will the action be taken? Because if not now, when? Your surroundings shape your thoughts, your energy, and your decisions. You don't realize it, but everything around you is either pushing you forward or holding you back. The noise, the distractions, the clutter, it all influences how you think, feel, and act. A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. A chaotic environment leads to chaotic thinking, and without even knowing it, you start carrying the weight of your surroundings everywhere you go. You wake up to notifications pulling you in 100 directions. Your space is filled with things you don't need. Your mind is filled with thoughts that aren't serving you, and the worst part, you've gotten so used to it that you don't even question it anymore. But here's the truth. Everything around you is either helping you grow or keeping you stuck. And if you don't take control of it, it will control you. Clutter isn't just physical, it's mental, digital, and emotional. A messy room isn't just about appearance, it's a reflection of your mind. The endless social media scrolling isn't just entertainment, it's feeding your brain distractions and negativity. The people you surround yourself with aren't just company, they're influencing your thoughts, your self-belief, and your energy. Every unnecessary thing you hold on to is stealing space from what really matters. If it's not adding value, it's taking value away. If it's not helping you, it's hurting you. If it's not building you up, it's breaking you down. And yet most people never stop to think about it. They let the noise pile up, convincing themselves it's normal. But normal isn't working. Normal is feeling stressed, overwhelmed, and stuck. Normal is drowning in distractions and wondering why nothing ever changes. Everything in your life should serve a purpose. If it doesn't, it's slowing you down. If 90% of your time is spent on things that don't contribute to your success, you are sabotaging yourself. Time wasted on distractions is time stolen from your goals. The things you say yes to are either making you stronger or making you weaker. If you don't control what's in your life, it will control you. The first reset is your physical space. Look around you. Everything you own is either adding peace or adding stress. A cluttered room creates anxiety. A disorganized space leads to procrastination. A chaotic environment fuels a chaotic mind. You might think your surroundings don't affect you, but they do. That's why successful people keep their space in order. Because simplicity breeds focus. Because clarity allows them to make clear decisions. Because a controlled environment leads to a controlled mind. When you remove the clutter, you remove stress. When you create order, you create peace. When you take control of your space, you take control of your energy. And once you do, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. The second reset is your mental space. Every day your mind is bombarded with noise, messages, emails, notifications, endless distractions demanding your attention. And the more you let them in, the less you can focus on what truly matters. If you don't guard your attention, the world will steal it. If you don't set boundaries, everything will feel like an emergency. If you don't take control of what enters your mind will become a battlefield of distractions. Your focus is your most valuable resource. Guard it like it's gold. If something is stealing your energy, it's costing you more than you think. If something is pulling you away from your goals, it's leading you toward failure. Set boundaries, cut out the noise, protect your mind like your future depends on it, because it does. When you remove what's weighing you down, you gain clarity. You start thinking for yourself instead of being influenced by everything around you. You regain energy. You move with intention. You make decisions with confidence. Stress fades, focus sharpens, and suddenly You realize how much you were carrying that you didn't need. A decluttered life isn't just about cleanliness, it's about freedom. For the next 24 hours, remove one major distraction from your life. Turn off social media, clean your space, set boundaries, cut the noise, and experience what real clarity feels like. Feel what it's like to have full control of your energy. Notice how your mind sharpens when it's not drowning in distractions. Once you feel that difference, you won't want to go back. Every decision you make starts in your mind. But is your mind working for you or against you? Most people don't realize they are fighting a war every single day, a battle between their potential and their doubts, between their dreams and their fears. And for too many people, self-doubt is winning. Doubt is like an invisible wall between you and success. You don't see it, but you feel it. Every time you hesitate, every time you second-guess yourself, every time you tell yourself you're not good enough, it grows stronger. Doubt leads to inaction, inaction leads to failure, and failure strengthens the doubt even more. It's a cycle that keeps you stuck. The only way to break it is to take control. Because if you don't take control of your mind, it will control you. Society has convinced you that you are who you are, that some people are born confident, some are born successful, and others are just destined to struggle. That's the biggest lie you've ever been told. Intelligence, confidence, and success are not fixed traits. They are developed. Every successful person you admire was once filled with doubt. They just refuse to let it define them. Your brain is constantly changing, constantly adapting. If you give it the right input, it rewires itself. The problem is most people are feeding their minds the wrong code. Your brain is like a computer. Whatever you program into it, it runs automatically. If you've spent years repeating failure, excuses, and self-doubt, your mind has learned to accept them as truth. It's not because they are true, it's because you've reinforced them. You've been programmed by parents, by teachers, by society, by past failures. You've been told what's possible and what isn't, what you can and cannot do. And without realizing it, you've been living by those rules. But here's the thing, those rules weren't made for you, they were given to you. And just like they were given, they can be rewritten. The most dangerous beliefs aren't the ones you're aware of, they're the ones you never question. If you believe you're not smart enough, you'll never push yourself to learn more. If you believe success is for other people, you'll never take the risks needed to create it. If you believe you're not lucky, you'll never look for opportunities right in front of you. But ask yourself, where did those beliefs come from? Someone told you at some point in your life that you weren't enough. Maybe it was a teacher, a parent, a friend, or even society itself. Someone planted that doubt in your mind and you've been carrying it ever since. But if those beliefs were never true, why are you still living by them? Every excuse you've ever made wasn't yours to begin with. I'm not smart enough. That was said by someone who stopped learning. I'm not lucky. That was said by someone who never created their own opportunities. I don't have time. That was said by someone who wastes hours every single day. And now, you've made these beliefs your reality. But here's the truth. If you stop reinforcing them, they lose their power over you. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't, what they choose to believe. High achievers know that their mind is their greatest weapon. They don't leave their thinking to chance. They train it. They reprogram it daily. They feed their mind powerful thoughts until those thoughts become reality. Every time a limiting belief appears, they challenge it. They ask, is this true or is this just something I've accepted? And then they replace it with a belief that empowers them. They don't just think differently, they act differently. They move forward even when the doubt is there. They take action even when they don't feel ready because they know this truth. Action destroys doubt, but doubt grows in inaction. For the next 24 hours, track every negative thought, every excuse, every moment of self-doubt. But here's the rule. Every time a negative thought appears, you must follow it with action. You don't fight doubt with more thinking. You fight doubt by proving it wrong. You say you're not confident, take action that makes you uncomfortable. You say you don't have time, cut the distractions and make time. You say you're not ready, do it anyway. Because the only way to destroy limiting beliefs is to stop giving them power. This is your challenge. For the next 24 hours, refuse to let negative thoughts dictate your actions. Track them, challenge them, and replace them with movement. And when you do, you'll realize something powerful. The only thing that was ever holding you back was the belief that you couldn't move forward. Now it's time to prove yourself wrong. Your body and mind are not separate. If your body is weak, your mind will be weak too. You can't expect to operate at your highest potential if you feel drained, sluggish, and exhausted every day. You can't expect to be sharp, focused, and driven when your energy levels are barely getting you through the day. Energy isn't just about how you feel, it determines your productivity, your confidence, and your ability to make powerful decisions. The most successful people in the world don't just work hard, they protect their energy like their success depends on it. Because it does. You wake up tired, you crash in the afternoon, you feel exhausted at night even when you didn't do much. This isn't normal, this isn't just how life is, this is your body reacting to what you put into it. The late night junk food, the caffeine overload, the processed garbage that gives you a temporary high but leaves you drained. Your body's not failing you, you are failing your body. Your brain needs fuel to function. And if you're feeding it nothing but sugar, processed food, and artificial junk, it will shut down on you. If your energy is constantly low, it's not genetics, it's not bad luck, it's your choices. When your energy is low, everything starts to fall apart. When you're tired, you make poor decisions. When you're drained, you procrastinate. When you feel sluggish, you take shortcuts, and before you know it, you've fallen into a cycle you can't escape from. Low energy leads to bad habits. Bad habits kill motivation. Lack of motivation leads to more failure, and the spiral continues. And the worst part, you start believing this is just who you are. But it's not. It's just a result of poor decisions stacked over time. If you don't take control of your energy will take control. There are three things that determine your energy levels: food, movement, and sleep. These aren't small things, they aren't optional. They are the foundation of everything. Every bite you take is either fueling your success or feeding your failure. Food is not just about calories, it's information. It tells your body how to function. Processed food tells it to be tired, inflamed, and slow. Whole, real food tells it to be sharp, focused, and powerful. Movement is not just for fitness, it's for life. Exercise isn't just about looking good. It releases stress, it sharpens your focus, it builds the discipline you need in every area of your life. And sleep? Lack of sleep is one of the fastest ways to destroy your focus, weaken your willpower, and age your body before it's time. If you are not prioritizing these three things, you are holding yourself back. Successful people don't wait to feel energized. They create energy. They don't leave it up to chance. They don't just go through life hoping to have a good day. They make sure they do. They treat their energy levels as the foundation of their success. They don't waste their mornings on junk food that slows them down. They don't sit all day and wonder why they feel sluggish. They don't sacrifice sleep and expect to perform at their best. Every decision they make is based on one question: will this increase my energy or will this drain it? If you want to be successful, you need to stop treating your energy like an afterthought. For the next 24 hours, make a change: one clean meal, one workout, and one full night's sleep. That's it. And when you wake up, notice the difference. Notice how your mind feels sharper. Notice how your mood is better. Notice how your energy is higher. This is proof that your energy levels are in your control, that you are not stuck feeling this way forever, that with just one day of commitment, you can change the way you feel. Imagine what would happen if you did this for a week, a month, a year. Imagine how much further ahead you'd be if you made energy a priority instead of an afterthought. When you fix your body, you fix your mind. And when you fix your mind, you fix your life. When your body is strong, your confidence skyrockets. When your mind is clear, your decisions improve. When you have energy, you have the power to create the life you want. Energy is not just a feeling, it is the fuel that drives success. The question is, will you start taking control of it today? Every single day you have the same 24 hours as the most successful people in the world. Yet somehow they achieve more in a year than most people do in a lifetime. Why? Because they know how to use their time. They don't waste it. They don't lose it to distractions. They don't give it away to things that don't matter. But the truth is, most people don't even realize how much time they're losing. If you tracked your time for a week, you'd be shocked. You'd see how many minutes disappear into nothing. How many moments get wasted on things that don't push you forward? And the worst part, most distractions don't even feel like distractions. They sneak in, disguised as relaxation. You sit down for 5 minutes and suddenly an hour is gone. You tell yourself you need a break, and before you know it, your whole day has slipped away. And then you wonder why you're stuck, why you're not making progress, why your goals still feel so far away. The greatest killer of success isn't failure, It's distraction. Not the big obvious kind, the small constant ones that seem harmless but slowly steal your potential. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is it's just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes of scrolling, just one more episode, just a little more time doing nothing. But those minutes add up. They turn into hours. Hours turn into days, and before you know it, your dreams are on hold. Distraction doesn't just slow you down, it keeps you stuck. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, you'll get serious next week, but next week never comes. And if you don't take control now, it never will. Because distraction isn't just an accident, it's a trap. Social media, Netflix, endless scrolling. You think you're in control, but these platforms are designed to steal your attention. Social media algorithms don't just show you content, they study you. They track what keeps you hooked, then feed you more of it. Netflix autoplay, that's not a feature, it's a strategy to keep you watching. The moment you finish one episode, the next one starts before you can even think. They don't want you to stop, they don't want you to focus, because your distraction is their business model. If you can't go a day without checking your phone, ask yourself, who's really in control? Are you running your life, or is your attention being controlled by something else? Are you making decisions based on your goals, or are you just reacting to whatever distraction pulls you in next? Successful people don't let their focus get stolen. They guard it like gold because they know the truth. What you focus on expands. If you focus on distractions, you get more distractions. If you focus on problems, you get more problems. But if you focus on growth, you get more growth. If you focus on progress, you get more progress. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck, it's not talent, it's focus. The secret of success isn't just hard work, it's focused work. It's the ability to lock in on what matters and shut out everything that doesn't. It's knowing that every minute wasted is a minute stolen from your future. So how do you eliminate distractions and take control of your focus? You build a system. Because willpower isn't enough. You can't just hope to stay focused. You have to make it non-negotiable. Step 1, identify your biggest distractions. What's stealing your time? What keeps pulling you away from what matters? Write it down. Be honest with yourself. Step 2, set non-negotiable time limits. If you don't schedule your distractions, they will schedule you. Limit your social media. Set boundaries for entertainment. Control your screen time before it controls you. Step 3, replace distractions with high-value activities. Instead of scrolling, read. Instead of watching pointless content, learn something useful. Instead of wasting time, invest it in yourself. Step 4, create a distraction-free workspace. Your environment dictates your focus. If your phone is always next to you, you'll reach for it. If your space is cluttered, your mind will be too. Set up your space for success. For the next 24 hours, cut out one major distraction completely, no excuses. Pick one thing that's controlling your time and eliminate it. Track how much extra time you have. Notice how much more you get done. Feel the difference. This isn't just a challenge, it's proof. Proof that when you eliminate distractions, you unlock your true potential. And here's what happens when you reclaim your focus: momentum, success, a new level of drive. The moment you stop letting distractions control you, everything changes. You start moving faster, you start getting more done, you start achieving at a level you never thought possible. Focus is a superpower, and once you master it, nothing can stop you, because success doesn't come from working harder. It comes from working smart, from making the right choices, from focusing on the things that actually move you forward. If you want to win, control your attention, because where your focus goes, your future follows. Everyone has a goal. Everyone has a vision of a better life. Everyone knows what they need to do, but most never do it, not because they don't have the answers, not because they don't have the talent, but because they never take the first step. They sit on ideas, waiting for the perfect moment. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, next year. And before they know it, they're in the exact same place, wondering where the time went. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple: action. Not more information, not better preparation, action. Because all the knowledge in the world is worthless if you never apply it. You don't need another book, you don't need another podcast, you don't need another motivational video. You need to move right now. But that's not what most people do. Instead, they fall into the same cycle, waiting, overthinking, hesitating, regretting. They tell themselves, I'll start when I'm ready. But the truth is, they'll never feel ready. The longer they wait, the more doubt creeps in. The more they think, the harder it becomes to take that first step. And eventually they convince themselves that the timing isn't right, that they don't have enough experience, that they need just one more thing before they can start. Overthinking kills more dreams than failure ever could. Because at least failure means you tried. At least failure means you took a shot. But hesitation? It's a slow death. A life wasted in what ifs and could have beens. There's only one way to break this cycle. Act before you feel ready. Don't wait for confidence. Build it through action. Don't wait for permission. Give it to yourself. Every successful person you admire had a moment where they had no idea what they were doing. They weren't ready, they weren't prepared, but they moved anyway because they knew the truth. Momentum changes everything. And that's why you need the 24-hour rule. If something is important, if something truly matters, it needs to happen now. Not next week, not next month, within 24 hours. That's the rule. Because the longer you wait, the less likely you are to ever do it. Hesitation kills momentum, and momentum is everything. How many dreams have died because someone said, "I'll start soon"? How many businesses were never built? How many goals were never reached? How many lives were wasted just because someone waited too long to start? There is no perfect time, there is no perfect plan, there is only now. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is I need to have it all figured out before I start. But perfectionism is just fear wearing a mask. It's just another way to stay stuck. It's just another excuse. The most successful people in the world didn't wait until they had the perfect strategy. They took the first step and figured it out along the way, because progress beats perfection every single time. So here's the challenge. Pick one thing you've been putting off, just one, and do it today. No excuses, no hesitation, no more waiting for the right moment. Just action. Maybe it's making that phone call, maybe it's applying for that job, maybe it's starting that business, writing that book, going to the gym, having that tough conversation, taking the first step toward the life you keep saying you want. Whatever it is, do it today, because if you don't, you'll keep putting it off, and next week, next month, next year, you'll still be in the same place, wondering why nothing ever changed. Once you break the habit of hesitation, you'll never look back, because momentum is built through action, and momentum changes everything. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, everything gets easier, because action fuels confidence, confidence fuels more action. And that's how success is built, not in one big moment, but in a series of small steps that create unstoppable momentum. You are not stuck, you are not trapped, you are one decision away from a completely different life. The only question is, will you take that step today? Success isn't just about starting, it's about staying consistent. Every day you have to make a choice. Will you continue pushing forward, or will you slip back into old habits? Most people fail not because they can't start, but because they can't maintain the momentum once the initial excitement fades. The real enemy isn't failure, it's comfort. The familiarity of your old routines, even if they're holding you back, can feel more tempting than the uncertainty of change. If you don't control your habits will control you. Every time you give in to the easy way, you take one step backward. You can't let that happen. If you do, you're wasting all the hard work you've put in. So understand this, success is a daily commitment, and the moment you let go of that commitment, you risk everything. Stay disciplined, stay on track, never let the old patterns dictate your future. You took the first step, you decided to change, you made a choice to reset your life, to take control of your future. And now, after 7 days, you stand at a crossroads. The path is laid out before you, and the decision is yours. Will you commit to the journey you've started, or will you let the pull of old habits drag you back? Overthinking kills more dreams than failure ever could. Because at least failure means you tried. At least failure means you took a shot. But hesitation? It's a slow death. A life wasted in what ifs and could have beens. There's only one way to break this cycle. Act before you feel ready. Don't wait for confidence, build it through action. Don't wait for permission, give it to yourself. Every successful person you admire had a moment where they had no idea what they were doing. They weren't ready, they weren't prepared, but they moved anyway because they knew the truth. Momentum changes everything. And that's why you need the 24-hour rule. If something is important, if something truly matters, it needs to happen now. Not next week, not next month, within 24 hours. That's the rule. Because the longer you wait, the less likely you are to ever do it. Hesitation kills momentum, and momentum is everything. How many dreams have died because someone said, I'll start soon? How many businesses were never built? How many goals were never reached? How many lives were wasted just because someone waited too long to start? There is no perfect time. There is no perfect plan. There is only now. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is I need to have it all figured out before I start. But perfectionism is just fear wearing a mask. It's just another way to stay stuck. It's just another excuse. The most successful people in the world didn't wait until they had the perfect strategy. They took the first step and figured it out along the way, because progress beats perfection every single time. So here's the challenge. Pick one thing you've been putting off, just one, and do it today. No excuses, no hesitation, no more waiting for the right moment. Just action. Maybe it's making that phone call. Maybe it's applying for that job. Maybe it's starting that business, writing that book, going to the gym, having that tough conversation, taking the first step toward the life you keep saying you want. Whatever it is, do it today, because if you don't, you'll keep putting it off, and next week, next month, next year, you'll still be in the same place, wondering why nothing ever changed. Once you break the habit of hesitation, you'll never look back, because momentum is built through action, and momentum changes everything. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, everything gets easier, because action fuels confidence, confidence fuels more action. And that's how success is built, not in one big moment, but in a series of small steps that create unstoppable momentum. You are not stuck, you are not trapped, you are one decision away from a completely different life. The only question is, will you take that step today? Success isn't just about starting, it's about staying consistent. Every day you have to make a choice. Will you continue pushing forward, or will you slip back into old habits? Most people fail not because they can't start, but because they can't maintain the momentum once the initial excitement fades. The real enemy isn't failure, it's comfort. The familiarity of your old routines, even if they're holding you back, can feel more tempting than the uncertainty of change. If you don't control your habits will control you. Every time you give in to the easy way, you take one step backward. You can't let that happen. If you do, you're wasting all the hard work you've put in. So understand this, success is a daily commitment, and the moment you let go of that commitment, you risk everything. Stay disciplined, stay on track, never let the old patterns dictate your future. You took the first step, you decided to change, you made a choice to reset your life, to take control of your future. And now, after 7 days, you stand at a crossroads. The path is laid out before you, and the decision is yours. Will you commit to the journey you've started, or will you let the pull of old habits drag you back?